Hey y'all, I'm Steven from Kickapoo Cavern State Park. I'm the superintendent here, and one of the cool things we have at Kickapoo Cavern State Park is actually the Kickapoo Cavern. So today, I'm going to take y'all in there. We're going to look at some of the cave formations we see in here. We're going to talk about some of the geology, and we might see some really cool wildlife in there as well. We have some critters that completely live in there, and we have some that live in and out. And if we're lucky, we might see a bat or two. So if y'all want, y'all can come join me, and we're gonna go down into Kickapoo Cavern today, and we will get this going. So here in Kickapoo Cavern, we have this really cool phenomenon that happens that most of the cave is dark, but on some of the rocks that do face the cave entrance and get a little bit of sunlight, they'll get this nice green tint to them. Now, some people think that this it could be a plant, it could be a fungus, it could be a mineral. What do y'all think that this might be? It only faces the sun, and it is humid in here. Hey guys, y'all want to see something cool? Yeah, so this is one of the few pieces of wildlife that we find in the front part of our cave is the cave cricket. They almost live their life entirely in the cave, but they will exit the cave for food and water sometimes, and they'll mostly use the cave as a spot for shelter. So they're not fully adapted to the cave, so they aren't blind. We don't have any blind species in Kickapoo Cavern that we're aware of. So I'm going to show y'all some evidence that was left behind by the water on how this cave actually formed. So what we have here are what we call cupolas. So cupolas are spots on the ceiling that show evidence of how the water moved in this cave millions of years ago. And so the cavern was completely filled up with water, and then from the ground up it was forming the cave, and it slowly eroded away the ceiling. As the water would rise, it would be slightly acidic and it would eat away a little bit at the limestone, and then it would drop, and it would create these cycles. And you can see on this cave is that the ceiling has multiple spots on this, and this is actually what gave us our cave entrance as well. The rock was eroded away enough that it was able to collapse in, and that's what opened up this cave for us to explore it today. So knowing that this cave took a little bit longer to form by water slowly moving and eroding away the rock, how long do you think it took to create this whole cavern? Do you think it took 1 year? Do you think it maybe took 50 years? Or maybe 500 years? 10,000 years? Maybe even 1,000,000 years? Or maybe even longer than 1,000,000 years? Let us know what you think. So what is chert? Chert is a really cool mineral that we find in this cave that's similar to flint. Some of y'all might know what flint is. The only difference between chert and flint is that chert doesn't create a spark, but chert was used by Native Americans to create tools such as arrow points, spear points, hide scrapers, drills, and knives. So all around me is this really cool rock that makes up the entirety of our cavern. It's going to be called limestone rock. The cool thing about limestone rock is that it's a sedimentary rock, which means it was formed by sediments over a long period of time. So at one point in time, the central part of Texas was completely underwater in an inland sea. And then this limestone slowly started to form as little sea critters like coral or crabs or other animals and sea life died. They fell to the bottom of the ocean and slowly compacted over a long period of time. How long did it take? Well, according to some geologists that came out here, what this limestone is that you're seeing all around us and that I'm standing on is part of the Devil's River Formation. It is estimated to be about 105 million years old. So one of the neat things about Kickapoo Cavern that differentiates it from some other caves in this area is that it's a cavern. As you can see behind me, it's this huge void of space. And everything, all the rock you see that is below us is what we call a cave breakdown. It actually came from the ceiling and fell down. So Kickapoo Cavern is a massive cavern, and that's what differentiates it from a cave versus a cavern. Cavern is going to be a bigger space that you see. And all of this was cave breakdown that I'm standing on, came from the ceiling. At one point in time, this whole cavern was filled up with water. And then when that water left, the cave didn't have anything to support it, and so the ceiling started to fall down. What I'm standing on now is about 100 feet of cave breakdown. The ground floor is more than 100 feet below me right now. I want y'all to look over here, and what we see on the cave wall is actually really cool because it shows us the layers of limestone rock. You can see these distinct horizontal lines that run, and they're about 10 feet apart from each other. But what causes these lines are some sort of geological event that happened millions of years ago. Either the sea receded for a little bit, or there was some sort of volcanic eruption that caused it to stop creating limestone for a brief period of time, and then it started back up again. And it gives us these nice horizontal lines that can give us a geological time scale. Kickapoo Cavern is what we would refer to as a hypogene cave. So hypogene means that it formed from groundwater versus rainwater above. Most caves in Texas form from rainwater slowly trickling down from the ceiling and dissolving away at the limestone rock. Kickapoo is unique in the fact that it was actually water that was acidic coming from the ground below us and slowly filling this cavern up and eating away at the ceiling that gave us this huge cavern above us. This is what we call our candlestick column. Kickapoo Cavern has multiple of these candlestick columns. This is not even one of the biggest ones we have. We might show y'all some of those later on. But what's really cool about columns, it's when a stalactite feature combines with a stalagmite feature. And so we went over earlier how stalactites grow from the ceiling and stalagmites grow from the ground. Well, when they connect up to each other, they start to grow wider and wider. And so this column is a really good example of how big some of those features can get. So how cave features form, we call them speleothems, but all of this that's behind me is this first column that we've talked about. And cave formations form from dripping water that goes down through the limestone rock, falls as rainfall, goes down to the limestone rock, picks up a little bit of carbonic acid in there, becomes slightly acidic, and then when the water comes through the rock and gets into this open void of a cave, it'll evaporate a little bit and leave a little bit of calcite crystal. And that's what all of this is. You can kind of see it's sparkly. And a really cool thing about calcite too is it does glow a little bit. So that's one of the cool ways that you can tell what's a cave feature or what is limestone rock in Kickapoo Cavern is if you lightly touch your flashlight to it and it glows, it's going to be a cave formation. And the reason I can touch these cave formations is because this cavern is dead. It's dry. It's not growing anymore. And so even when it rains, a heavy rain, water will not drip down from the ceiling and start to create more formations. And so we're able to kind of touch these rocks and feel them. And you get more of that interactive experience here at Kickapoo Caverns than you would at any other like cave parks that are live and growing and you can look but not touch. So if y'all want to, y'all can come out to Kickapoo Caverns and y'all can take our cave tour. And with some supervision from us, you can touch formations and lightly put your flashlight against some things and let the cave glow. Hey teachers, if y'all enjoyed what y'all saw today, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment, share with your other teacher friends, and y'all are more than welcome to come out here, bring your class out here. If possible, we might be able to offer y'all a private cave tour depending on the amount of students in the age group. We'd love to get y'all out to the park, and I hope y'all enjoy this distance learning program that we have for y'all.